But first, let's return to Penny Wong's push for Labor to consider recognising Palestinian statehood. She made the comments at a scripted speech last night at the ANU, and then she reiterated the message this morning, supported later in the day by the Prime Minister. But here's analysis on what this means at every level, internationally, domestically, and amongst our allies. I'm joined now by the foreign editor at The Australian, Greg Sheridan. Well, Greg, give us your top-line view. I mean, I thought this was an extraordinary move by Penny Wong. There are decades of bipartisanship on this position about a two-state solution. Give us your sense of what you heard from the Foreign Minister last night and then, I guess, being backed in today by the Prime Minister.
Well, Peter, I was profoundly disappointed in this speech. I've had a lot of respect and admiration for Penny Wong previously. But this speech, although it was carefully worded, there's a kind of undergraduate silliness to the speech. It's as if she's the first person who's ever discovered a two-state solution. And she has a Pollyanna talk about it as though you could just impose it tomorrow. And the only thing stopping it is the wicked unreasonableness of those Israelis. And it's also a deeply, deeply cynical speech. This is designed, if Albanese had won The Voice, he would have been the superhero of the left forevermore, the greatest constitutional reformer in the history of the Labor Party. If he recognises Palestine, he will go to the election with an unassailable position amongst Muslim activists who care about Palestine and not anything else. And he will fortify himself against the Greens, whereas the most likely outcome at the next election is that the Liberals swipe a couple of seats from him, but the Greens swipe a few seats from him and he goes into minority government. Now, that can be the only explanation. This motion on the Labor Party books to recognise Palestine has been on the books for years. And it's one of those motions which the government knows is utterly ridiculous. And therefore, rather than fight the left over it, they just include a weasel word about, when the timing is appropriate or something. Now, what Penny Wong has done is she has validated Hamas's tactics. Hamas goes and kills 1,200 Jews, commits the worst terrorism that we've seen in modern times. And the result is the Australian Foreign Minister is calling for immediate diplomatic recognition of a Palestinian state. Well done, the terrorists. Very bad effort by the Australian Foreign Minister. Although, having said all that, Australia acting alone won't make a bit of difference, except that it marginally demoralises our friends in Israel. And of course, it profoundly distresses the Jewish community and all friends of Israel in Australia. But the government couldn't seem to care less about that.